Well, welcome back everybody to Motorsport Manager, and what a result that was last time out. A complete fluke, let's be honest. The car's not going to be at that level for the rest of the season, but we can hopefully take advantage of maybe the reliability problems of the AI in the first couple of races, and we'll see what besets us in Beijing. We'll keep pushing forward with the car. We're still making money each race. We've got a bit of money to spend on improving the car. And we did talk about having a look at a reserve driver as well. Just maybe bringing some money to the team and someone to possibly be training up to take over from these two guys. But before we do, hopefully things are looking a bit nicer, a bit sharper for you. Got a new PC all built. Luckily the save game swapped over nicely. So you should be getting proper 1080p 60. I know this isn't the best game to be showing off graphical fidelity, but to be honest, it was just so bad what I was doing, which was essentially upscaled 720 because of how bad my PC was. So now you're getting as good as I can get it. So hopefully everything's looking nicer and crisp in nice 1080 60 for you. But that's not what you really care about. You're here because you want to watch me probably fail for the rest of the season. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right, let's get on with it, shall we? I'm going to start scouting a couple of drivers. We want people with high marketability and potentially people that are going to bring a bit of money with them for the races as well. So I'm going to start having a look in the championship we're in. John Steer is someone we looked at before. John Steer has actually been promoted to the Asia Pacific Super Cup as well. So nice to see her up here with us. So I'm going to scout her. Where did that go weird? Oh, I've already scouted her, obviously. I'm stupid. Right, we're actually going to start with some young guns. So let's take a look at Ashi Nahez. Let's take a look at Larachi and Munro. These are unknowns, they're also unemployed, so we'll just see what results they come back. We might be able to find a hidden gem over the course of the next few races. Won't jump to conclusions, we'll scout through as many people as we can and try and find the best person to bring on board as a reserve driver. Right, obviously our two drivers over the moon with first and second in the first race in Singapore. I'm over the moon as well, it was a great race. Right, let's get on with it. Let's build some new parts, shall we? We want to start, obviously engine is spec, which would normally be the most important thing. So gearbox is what we'll go with. We'll go with acceleration plus 25 and we'll get that built. Wait one tick and then we can start work on the parts we've already got. So reliability is what we were wholly focused on to begin with. I think we shall continue in that light. We'll keep improving that gearbox and we'll do the same as we did last time. We'll keep switching these around every couple of days to try and get everything up to scratch. And then we can concentrate on performance later down the road. So let's just get going for a few days. And we'll stop there. Improving parts. I think I'll actually halt on the worst of our gearboxes because we've got a new one coming. So we'll switch that onto that. That frees something up for some other parts. Right, let's go off that front wing and go over to the brakes. They're now up into 56s. If we can get everything up to about 60-ish, that'll be good enough for the next race. We're just improving our chances of getting a good result, because I'm sure the AI will struggle with reliability. They always do early on. So let's switch that rear wing. Give those brakes a couple more days. We've got that new gearbox that's just finished as well. So we shall look to improve that. Right, switch the reliability over to that one, try and get it ready for the next race. We're going to build another new gearbox straight away. So we got one for each car. Don't really want to risk anything. We're going to go for, what's that, 460, 470, but it starts higher. Let's go for the best part we can down the road. It will take some improving. But actually that's really going to take a hit on reliability. We'll go for the 30. We'll go for the 30. Right, we'll get that built. And ready as soon as we can. Let's, yeah, I'm going to give those brakes a couple more days. Yeah, now I'm going to switch that over to the suspension. Just eking them all up. I normally go for just each part individually, but and get them as high as possible before we move on. But if we can get our baseline as high as possible, I think that's going to help us in the long run, because you never know what's going to wear the quickest over a race weekend. Right, switch that rear wing back to that. We'll give these the suspension a few more days. What else have we got? Scouting report for Ashley Nowens has finished. I don't even know how I pronounce her name there. Nowens. Anyway, marketability 69, pretty high. What? Just for a reference, what are we shooting for with our drivers at the moment? We're on sponsors. So yeah, Dreyfus is the weak link. So she's a good prospect. She could be the best driver on the grid. She's going to be a big cost per race at the moment. She's currently... Is she racing at the moment? Yeah, she's with Eastwood at the moment. So her contract that's a long contract as well. So she's a great driver, but not really what we're looking for a reserve driver. A potential replacement though for Dreyfus as a main race driver. Right, let's continue. Just take a look at how everything's getting on. Right, 57, 58, that's about the same as those brakes. Just wondering if we go off everything to try and get that gearbox usable for the race. I think we do. So if we concentrate on that gearbox solely, and hopefully we can get it ready for the next race. It'd be nice to put that spanking new part on the car. Slight concerns about our money, but we got it under control. Right, second new gearbox is finished. We won't build another part straight away. We'll see how we do in the race and what kind of budget we got to work with after that. Right, that's up to 65. I won't switch that other gearbox just yet. Let's just see if we can get this all up. Maybe a % if we're lucky in a day. Okay, we're ready to go then. Oh, nightclub shame for Dreyfus. That helps her marketability though, which she is lacking in. So that's actually good news. It's not really a bad thing at all. Others, meanwhile, were less impressed. That German beep was staring at my boyfriend all night. I hope she crashes in her next race. That's not very nice. Claudia bought the entire bar around her drinks. That's great. Dreyfus representatives have declined to comment on the story. She just went out for a couple of drinks. Nothing wrong with that. Right, so we're going to go 5th or above. Again, that 2nd or above, that sponsor's pointless, I think. Yeah, it's not giving us any benefit. 5th we might be able to fluke. It's going to be a wet race as well, which is good news. So let's fit some new parts on the car. We should be, yeah, we can use that gearbox. I'm going to give it to Eka. No particular reason, to be fair. Everything else is ready to use. I'm not going to risk that other new gearbox just yet. We need to get that reliability up. Right, I'm going to get practice done, and I shall join you for qualifying. Okay, so practice went pretty well. 96% on both cars. Not much use for the race though. We've got level 2 in super softs and race trim. No use for qualifying because it's wet. We're on the intermediates, but should help us out a little bit for the race. Going to be tricky. Wet qualifying, you can normally outperform the car if you read the conditions correctly. We've sent both cars out for a run straight away. Just because you don't know if these are going to be the best conditions. It looks like it is going to get a little bit drier towards the middle of the session. So we will see if it's good enough for completely dry. It does look like it is going to be some dry weather in the middle. Now the question is, we will let them finish their laps. The question is whether it's going to be dry all the way or that's going to be a tiny little segment. in which it's going to be at its driest. It's a little risky, you know, because if it rains again after that, that is the perfect time to get out there. Anyway, we crossed the line. Eka has done a 27.3. Dreyfus about 4 tenths behind on a 27.7. So that could be conditions, or it could be the difference between our two drivers. I don't know. Eka's looking very competitive on that time. Dreyfus not so much. Is going to be dry at the end of the session though, it looks like. I can't see any more rain forecast. Now this is where it gets, I'm going to slow it down just to be sure. This is where it gets very tricky. Because if it rains again right at the end, you need to get a lap in now. If it's going to be dry to the end, you want to go out right at the end of the session when the track is going to be at its grippiest. Right, we have ended up 19th and 20th. Eka almost in range of those cars ahead, all the way up to Kanjiro in 13th is within 3 tenths, so competitive. We could be competitive with that midfield if Eka gets a better lap. Dreyfus definitely can do with improving quite a bit, so there's more time to find there. Right, we're going to need just over 2 minutes to get around. We need to space out our two drivers, so about 2:20, 2:30 is the latest we can go out. I'm pretty sure it's not going to rain again now, so we will wait for that time. If it does rain again, there's not much we can do now. Alright, let's wait for it. Get the best lap possible. Oh shit, it is going to rain. Oh, we've blown this then. I don't think we're going to get a lap in. Yeah, that rain right at the end has just killed it. We should have gone out straight away. We've risked it for a little bit more grip on the track, and by doing so we've left it too late. Yeah, it's going to rain right in their fast laps. So we're going to be 19th and 20th, unfortunately. It was a risk worth taking because we were going to be right by the back anyway. But hey, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And when you're talking about a couple of tenths, which could be the difference between a little bit of track grip and not, I guess it was worth the risk. But hey, we'll let them finish the laps. You never know, they might somehow find some grip out there. Dreyfus goes quite a bit slower at 28.9, and Eka does a 30.1 because they're on the wrong tyres. 19th to 20th. Hey, this is where we expect to be fighting, I guess, this season. We've got those points in the bag early on. Remember, only the top 6 get points this season, so those points could be invaluable. And we're aiming for 6th place in the championship, so we're on target for that, but of course a long way to go yet. Right, the race is starting dry. Rain has been forecast, but it looks like we're going to get a dry start. So it's going to be dry weather tyres from the beginning. We will go for quick fixes and race trim. Then no matter what happens, we're covered with that 10% performance increase, and I'm pretty sure we may need to do some repairs at some point. We'll go for engine expert. We'll go for nurse as well. Just really protecting those cars. I think it's pretty obvious we're not going to have the pace in normal conditions, so anything we can do to get a step up on the AI in terms of reliability is good news. So I think we'll go for soft tyres, because if the rain's coming we want to stay out as long as possible, which is going to be around about 13 to 15 laps, so we'll put 16 in both cars. We'll go same strategy for both drivers, just because you never know how long you've got to wait for the rain. And we are good to go then, and we will you know what, again we'll just go neutral and medium. We're looking after these cars. This has always done us well in the past, so I'm hoping we can get a good result and read the conditions right today. Right, 5 lights for race number 2 then of our opening season in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. And it's a slightly better start from Dreyfus. She overtakes Eka, but Eka, the normal AI8 train, gets that position back and actually gets up to 17th through the first few corners. I would expect us to drop back. A few cars on the soft tyres, well, almost half the field, about 7 or 8 cars. And then kick it up to speed 2. We've got to keep an eye on the weather. Both our cars have dropped to the back of the field. We are going to have to push a bit. The tyres not really coming up to temperature here. I think I'm going to go to attack. It's not going to help our parts much, but we need to get those tyres up to temperature as soon as possible. Just 19 degrees out there. And cool tyres is not good news. You don't want them too hot, you don't want them too cold, you want them just right. The Goldilocks of round bike things. 2 drivers having little complaints about each other there. I'm not going to be enforcing team orders, I'm afraid. Not unless one of you is completely out of a championship. That would be the only time, I think. Because I'm of the principle you've got to let your drivers race out there. You've got to let them do their thing. And they're equal status, so you've got to let them go. Eka looking feisty at the moment. Right, our tyres are now up to temperature, so let's go back to neutral. Just about caught that in time. Right, safety car is out. 16th and 19th. Right, I'm going to pit Dreyfus. I'm going to put her on a fresh set of soft tyres. I'm going to fuel her up. Just give us those few extra laps if the rain comes. I'll leave Eka out because she's got good pace and she's going well at the moment. No repairs needed, so no need to do it for that sense. So yeah, by pitting Dreyfus, she's at the back anyway, we may as well give her a little bit more fuel, fresh set of soft tyres. And if those extra 3 laps make the difference enough for her to be able to get to the rain and not, that could be a points winning decision today. Although we're so far off the pace, you never know. A lot of other drivers coming in for a fresh set of super softs, which could be smart as well. You may as well. They might have better forecasting centres than we do, and they might know when the rain is coming. But it's going to give Dreyfus that little bit of extra time. Let's keep it on low. Should have done that a lot earlier. Safety car 101, save fuel, save tyres. It's a good chance to do so. So it's all about that rain. Now, a lot of times in this race, in this game, when it tells you it's going to rain for the race, it sometimes never does, and it's sometimes the last lap or two. So it might be a bit of a red herring. You can spend the whole race waiting for it, and it never actually influences the race. But hopefully it will come, because our pace isn't brilliant today, although Eka is definitely showing better pace than her qualifying pace suggested. Right, we are back underway. We'll go back to 2-speed. And Eka is going to have to defend from a whole host. Let's go back to medium fuel, actually. Nearly forgot that. From a whole host of cars coming back through on the super soft tyres. She can hold these guys up for a bit. But they'll lose that edge off those super softs, and the race will start coming back to her. She's doing a good job of that at the moment. She's in 10th. And not letting anybody through. So, but Tyler and Vidal behind are on the fresh super softs. So I would expect them to get past pretty easily. As Vidal goes around the outside. She's still holding them off. She fought bravely there, Eka. But it's really the inevitable happening now. These guys have got quicker cars, quicker tyres. And that is exactly what we're seeing. Everybody pushing the engines pretty hard, which is good news for our strategy on reliability. Of course, safety car, things like safety car can throw a spanner in that works. And that's what seemed to be happening in race 1. Safety car kept coming out, kept being stop-starts. Ekka's just broken her front wing. Great. Okay. Right, we will prepare for that rain again. We will fill her up with fuel, put soft tyres on again. We'll have to fix that front wing. Everything else looks to be holding at the moment, so we won't make any more repairs. But I just missed that box a little too quickly. I don't know what happened there, whether she went into the back of someone or something. I thought that was Dreyfus there, car number 19. It's not. So maybe it was Stramby she went into the back of. Maybe they're the two cars that had the incident. And this is going to destroy Ekka's race, which is such a shame. She was showing great pace today. But unless she gets the strategy call absolutely right, or there is a safety car, or the AI have stupidly long pit stops for repairs, then she's pretty much out of this race now. But we'll keep her out there. She's fueled longer than everybody else at the moment, so she'll get that pit stop back if she's the only one that can make it to the rain, which still isn't coming. And yet again, we've just been thrown off by the fact that it showed the race as heavy rain. And it looks like it's going to be right at the end of the race. So Dreyfus has got enough fuel for another 11 laps. Looks like the tyres will hold for that long. She is circulating right at the back at the moment. She's just about hanging on. She's about 3 seconds away from Canjero ahead. And this isn't looking good this weekend. But let's hold out for the rain. We've got that good result in the bag, so we can afford to do this. We don't need to push the issue. Because I'm pretty sure cars, and if it stays a normal dry race to the end, cars that we're fighting for that 6th place won't be in the points. Unless they've had an incredible race. So we'll keep holding out. Everything looking okay on the cars. Got a while to wait, so let's kick it up to 3 speed. There's only so much filler I can do. I'm only one man. Which reminds me of the incredible job the BBC Sport team did in the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix, when 2 hours they had to fill when there was a red flag. And they were running out of stuff by the end. And I'm running out of stuff now. So Dreyfus is now up to 11. Quite a few people have now made their first stop or a second stop. And we need some rain for this strategy to work. We're going to have to pit Dreyfus soon. And then it's going to be all about what tyres we put on. She can get a few more laps, then we can put the soft tyres on again. She should be able to get to the finish. So if this does stay dry the whole way, we're not out of strategy from that sense. Everybody's starting to make those stops now. We'll leave it a couple more laps. Right, there's some clouds on the radar. Is this the rain? Is this the rain we have been desperately waiting for? If it is, I don't know that she's going to get to it. So we're going to have to pit her. Just want to hold out and see if that's the rain. Do we go super softs and hope that the rain is coming, or do we go softs and... Actually, we're not even going to get to the end on those softs. Let's go aggressive. Let's go on the... see, I'm still waiting for that rain. I'm going to go softs again. We'll go up to 15 laps. No repairs needed. And she'll come back out again. Probably at the tail of the field. Good pit stop. No mistakes. And she's back out in 15th place. So there's quite a few cars already, I think, that have had some pretty hefty repairs done. Because Ekka is up to 16th as well. Ekka's making a good recovery here. You know, she's not the world away from her teammate, considering. Right, I think this rain is going to be right at the end of the race. As Dreyfus gets past another car as Ribeiro pits. So she's still in this fight with the lower midfield. It's not really a fight that has any any weight to it though, because the top 6 is all that matters, don't forget. It's a long old race. I don't know if the races are longer in this formula, they seem like it. Either that or this is quite a lackluster race, not much happening. Right, there is that rain. So it's going to be around about lap 25. Eka's got the fuel to get there. Has she got the tyre life? Right, we might get her to back. It's going to go to conserve. Hopefully the tyre temperatures don't drop too much as Dreyfus gets passed by another car. Dreyfus has definitely got the tyres and the fuel to get there. Whether Eka will. She's back in this race if she does. If she doesn't, she's another pit stop behind. But our guys are slowly moving up. There's 3 cars in particular there, Scramby, Zaranti and Tyler, that definitely had lengthy repairs in the pits. I think Rodriguez might have as well. To be honest, I think they all have, because we shouldn't be ahead of any of them with the pace we've shown today. Right, we're about 3 laps away from rain. Can Eka hold on? I'm going to go to neutral because if they're too cool, we're going to wear the tyres as well. It's going to be close for Eka, but this could be race ruining because she cannot afford to go another pit stop behind. She's going to be on the carcass by the time that rain comes. So is that better or worse than pitting now and having a few really quick laps on the super softs? I don't know. Right, we've got to get this call right. Dreyfus is should take priority because she's a little bit further up the road. But for Eka it might be more critical. If she can get one more lap in after this, she should be okay onto the rain. The rain should start next time around. Eka is gonna have to come in this time around. There's no way we can hold it off. Right, she's gonna have to put the inters on. She's gonna have to struggle for a lap or two. There's nothing we can do. If we fuel it up to the end and then hope upon hope that rain comes quick enough for her. Dreyfus can hold on and go for the optimal lap, which will probably be 2 or 3 laps from now. Alright, is that rain going to start to fall before she boxes? She's now run out of tyres completely and is losing a lot of time. So in she comes. Still, no, there's the rain. It's just in time then. She's not going to lose a huge amount of tyre life. I wanted to push and use the fuel. Yeah, you should. Right, when's the right time? We don't want to lose too much time, so I think we'll hit Dreyfus this time around. We probably could have gone a lap earlier there, but she should be okay. We shall go up to... Yeah, we won't. We're not going to push it on fuel. We don't want to strain. Our engine and gearbox are good. Might put an extra lap in. She might be able to push a little bit more. Eka, it's that gearbox I'm worried about. She's on the right tyres now though, so we will go to high and we will go to push because we're losing a little bit of temperature in them as well. A lot of guys have gone on to intermediates already then, so we've lost a bit of time. Dreyfus is back out in 6th here. 7th, she just about lost 7th. She's in the fight for points. This is a lot of people pitted early and a lot of people are having lengthy repair stops as well. She's back in this race. I'll go back to neutral for Eka. She's overheating those tyres a little bit now, but it is the optimal tyre to be on. Dreyfus is up to 6. Someone else has pitted. Cruz up there in 4th is on the wet tyres and will be coming back towards... She's already passed Cruz. Holy mother of God. We are flying. You always think getting the right strategy won't make such a difference, but it really does in this game. It's maybe a bit exaggerated from what it would be in real life, but if you get it right, it does work. It really does. I'm sure they artificially make some of the AI make the wrong decisions, just to highlight when you get the right decisions, but man, it feels good. Eka coming right back into this race as well. She's up to 10th. There's 2 guys ahead of her that are on the wet tyres. Now, it is going to get wetter, so the track will come back to those guys. Dreyfus is up to 4th now. She's just passed Woodford. So we need to keep an eye on that gap. It's 8 seconds behind, but the wet tyres will be the right tyres to be on in the next couple of laps, possibly. I don't think it's going to get wet enough, you know. Right, engine and gearbox looking okay over there. Right, we need to go back to medium on Eka. Right, now Woodford is coming back at a rate of knots, because wet tyres are now the right tyre to be on. So, who have we got? We've got 2 cars that might be in range. Woodford is definitely in range. And this could be a done deal. I don't think there's anything she can do to fight back here, because it's just going to get wetter. I'm going to go push because the Inter's really struggling now. Got a little, oh, actually no, we keep that on medium because of the gearbox. She's lost that place, by the way. Down to 5th, as expected. Oh, Leclerc is out of the race, retired from the lead, I think. And some other people. What is going? Slow down. What is going on again? A bunch of people now pitting, I presume to put on the wet tyres. Have we got this wrong? We've now inherited 2nd and 5th. Alright, speed it back up to 2. So Eka has now inherited 5th because everybody is coming in for wet tyres. So Eka, the gap behind is 23 seconds. Are the wets really going to be that much quicker? I don't think so. Dreyfus has got 10 seconds on Diostra behind, and that gap is rapidly coming down. We're really pushing the cars hard now on reliability as well. That hard work we've done is really going to pay off. I don't think it's going to be good enough for 2nd for Dreyfus though, because that gap has already been reduced by 6 seconds. Make that 7 by the time she comes around the final corner. Eka's gap is down to 12 seconds. We're going to be holding on by the skin of our teeth by the end of this. Dreyfus now has Diostra all over her, sorry. She's trying to defend, there's not much we can do. There's 4th place right behind, as we are on the final lap. Right, Dreyfus is safe for 4th. Can Eka hold off? That gap is coming down and down and down. 4 seconds. Dreyfus crosses in 4th, great result. She holds on. There is 6th. Come on Eka. Just get it round the final corner. Oh, she's lost it on the final corner. Down to 6th. But it's still a points paying position. Right, all kinds of stuff happened there. And that was all the result of me being on free speed. I'm not going to do that again. I don't think. Or I'm going to slow it back down towards the end of the race. Let's just try and analyse what happened there then. So, everybody coming in for the wet tyres because it was the right tyre to be on right at the end. But by staying out on the inters, I think we got away. I think Dreyfus might have been better off putting the wets on, because she was fighting with the guys that just beat her anyway. But Eka definitely lucked in, and definitely got some positions that she wouldn't have got if she'd gone onto the wet tyres. So it's 4th and 6th. And that's a great result, a staggering result. Once again, a combination of the right strategy and that reliability work really helped us. Eka had a drive through. Wow, I missed that. So obviously the incident where she lost her front wing was her fault, and that was the pop-up that we minimised far too quickly. And she actually did a drive through during that race and still finished 6th. That is an incredible result. Dreyfus 4th. It's another 4 points for us. And it means that we're 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Jeremy Woodford of the Chariot Motor Group has taken over the lead. And we still lead the championship by 8 points. That's a cracking race. We know this is going to reverse. It happened in the GT series when we got off to a great start with a car that's near the bottom. So we can't take this for granted. We've got to keep pushing on and keep trying to improve the car. But once again, completely shocked by the result. Little bit of bravery there from staying out in the intermediates. It wasn't completely intentional, so I won't take full credit for it. But it wasn't so much the AI being broken in that sense as it was us getting the right strategy calls and being brave enough to stay out there on the intermediates at the end. Alright, nice $500,000 to the budget. We could do with improving that a little bit if we can. We'll maybe work on that. A way to do that later in the season, say a pay driver that we could maybe put in for practice will help. But all in all, we're making profit, we're scoring points, and this Asia Pacific Super Cup is getting off to the right start. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope everything looks a bit nicer for you. Do give me some feedback on that with the new 1080-60. Doesn't make a massive difference on this game, but it's just nicer to have a clearer picture, of course. Give me some help and advice on how we can maybe maintain this start we've got. We need to get our car. We are starting to make moves. We're up to 9th, so the one difference between this and the GT series is that we've got money to spend on the car. So as long as we can keep the new parts coming, then we should be okay. We need to make a little bit more. So if there's any sort of quick fixes or things that we could save money on, do let me know. Help and advice on that, just to get us up a little bit more. If we can get around the 1 million mark per race, then we can get a new part on the car each race. As it is, we probably need to do it every 2 races. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.